Hit me, come on, hit me.
Real, cause Cannon, what they think?
I did something, and I don't think I'm gonna be living anymore.
A 15-year-old is not a kid. A 15-year-old is a teenager. And I'm not into teenagers either.
This is Brandon Brutal, and he answers the unasked question of what happens when you use copious amounts of Tylenol and My Chemical Romance for fetal stimulation. Okay, no, but he has done some egregious shit. So I was hoping to bring you guys a teensy bit of joy with the Parkenstein video, but I remember seeing this guy popping up on my feed a few years back, and although I wanted to talk about him then, I have more than enough reason to talk about him now.
Children.
Really quick before we get into it, if you enjoy my content, please give the video a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Just any one of those three could do a massive job in helping support the channel. Also, really quick, a big shout out to this video goes to VLADE. Not that he fucking needs it for me, but I watched his video on Brandon Brutal and it inspired me to cover this topic as well, but instead of dropping facts and a thorough investigation, I'm just going to make fun of him for about 8 minutes, so if you want to deep dive into his real transgressions, go check out VLADE's video. I'll link it in the description. So, Brandon Brutal, or Blackfail Brandon, is a TikTok superstar, once known for his...
Got roasting this much energy drink, Ken.
Wrong.
And let's see,
hybrid scream. Thanks, Sabala Extreme Vocal. Unlike Dr. Parkenstein, he gained popularity through lip-syncing covers, poorly, duets, a niche personality and or appearance, trends, as well as sharing personal experiences, similar to most of the talentless retards that span TikTok, because God forbid I bring actual humor to the platform, but some asshole with Asperger's. He rose to popularity during the height of COVID by proving that being severely autistic should never hold you back from wearing eyeliner or pursuing your musical aspirations. Brandon, pull yourself together. You got children watching. Otherwise, how would we have musical talents like All American Rejects, Blink-182, or Ronnie Radke?
This situation.
But it wasn't long before he began doing what a lot of TikTok creators tend to do when they run out of other people's ideas to rip off, which I like to refer to as reverse parasocial relationships. They begin treating their audience like their own personal friends and start unloading intimate details of their lives or telling stories, sometimes as an act of humility or to relate to their audience, and wind up sharing too much and becoming a massive lolcow. But in some rare cases, they expose themselves as much, much more.
About me anymore. Thanks to the hacker making me look like a file, making me look like Davey Vanity.
Brandon, I would never suggest that you're a pedophile like Davey Vanity.
Sorry to disappoint you, Yugi. Huh? You triggered my trap card.
Oops.
Is it to talk dirty to a filthy minor?
Ew, kids, gross. For quick context, Davey Vanity was a frontman for a band called Blood on the Dance Floor and got into some major trouble for relationships with underage girls, most notably Jessie Slaughter, who helped coin the phrases,
And I know who it's coming from because I've backtraced it. You've been reported to the cyber police and the state police. Consequences will never be the same.
And creating golden memes such as this one. This connection will become clear as we move further into the video, but by now, you should know where this is going and why Brandon is so concerned with being called Davey Vanity. Brandon seemed to delve headfirst into the reverse parasocial relationships, as it wasn't long before he started sharing his passion for a boyfriend-free girl.
I do feel really lonely, like I really want an emo girlfriend to grow old and happy with.
You know, I think I have someone that can help you out with that. Embarking on his own love quest of sorts, it seems he was having a bit of trouble figuring out why sounding like Al Gore,
I'm super serial,
or looking like a Hot Topic Mandingo party ran a train on his twink ass wasn't getting him bitches.
I want a woman to hit me and call me a piece of shit, and then slap me and say I'm a dirty boy.
Looking at him makes me feel bad for the transgender lesbians everywhere. If pussy don't like pussy, what hope do any of us have? Also, he was finding difficulty in dispelling this pesky little rumor.
I do not like kids. I do not go for anyone under 18.
This would heavily play into the narrative about why Brandon felt that he couldn't pick up chicks. Now, who would go and spread these rumors, and where did they begin? Well, no one really knows. Most people assume that he was trying to get ahead of his accusations as he was already familiar with his perversion. Personally, I think he was just reciting some Lost Prophet lyrics. How many of these jokes can I fit into one video? You'd be surprised. Things would only escalate when Brandon nearly Minecrafted himself to the bewilderment of his audience, unaware of what was circulating in his hometown, online, but mainly just in his head. It's a hard video to watch, so for your safety, we've prepared a dramatic reenactment.
In this video to say thank you for everyone supporting me, and I just did something that I'm probably not going to be here anymore for.
After this video, he completely dropped off of social media. Most people speculated whether or not he had passed, but for a period of time, he went entirely silent until eventually re-emerging and reigniting the excitement from his audience to see him healthy and once again live streaming. Now, just looking at him, it's obvious there's something unique about his appearance, something that I haven't touched on up to this point. A style or a sense of purpose, if you will. A place, or maybe even a group that he belongs to in this world.
And got another broken heart, because I'm always the one to play that part.
That, of course, being the special needs class. And if it wasn't obvious by now, you should see that this gentleman definitely has the tisms. He doesn't just play the role of Jimmy Savile himself, he's also one of his victims. Which really says a lot about the Predator community as a whole, that even the biggest hearts can have the most cursed hard drives. Now, it may come as a surprise for you to know that dealing with his mental retardation didn't affect his ability to work, as you can still stock shelves with fingerless gloves and a Nightmare Before Christmas t-shirt.
Hey, do you know where the belts are at? I'm sorry, I don't work here.
Brandon, you're unemployed. But he was met with difficulty when reaching the sex portion of his application, and there was no option to select yes. Outside of his ability to work past a crying fit when he's forced to list single on his W-4, his only real major life problem was his relationship with his father. His father, who already didn't approve of him dressing like a 14-year-old bipolar girl, wasn't really fond of his 30-something-year-old son living off of his disability checks so that he could stay up until 4 a.m. on a TikTok live to complain about girls and butchering the Black Parade.
When I was a young boy, my father sent me.
Conflicts would only really start to rear its ugly head though when Brandon decided to live stream his disabled father's room to put him on blast and show the world what a loser he was.
Holy shit. Oh my god. What the Holy look at that. What the fuck?
Brandon, you're 36 and homeless. Hot Topic redesigned their marketing structure just to get rid of you. Fall Out Boy changed genres so that you'd stop ruining their songs.
Good thing about this part of town.
This would reach a boiling point on a live stream when Brandon would finally take the panties off and proudly proclaim himself as Brawly before attempting to fight his elderly disabled father.
You gotta Broly!
I can't really show the video, but imagine someone with no legs trying to out-squat lift someone with no arms. It's sad, it's disgusting, but somehow I think I'll make it through. Things only continue to get more and more retarded as Brandon would be exposed for having inappropriate conversations with the supposed minor, which turned out to be a catfish in disguise, using pictures of an actual minor. Like I said, the conversation showed Brandon initially rejecting the catfish when discovering she was underage, until clarifying that she didn't really mind, and we quickly find out that Brandon didn't either. But don't worry guys, it was all a hacker. A convenient and likely story of that elusive hacker that breaks into your Facebook page just as your catfish drops her balls on the table and says, "I'm DTF as long as you're willing to CCP." It's a tale as old as time where the evil villain gobbles up all the inappropriate content, paints Brandon's hands red, and leaves just as he's being exposed. You hate to see it. Luckily, the catfish did not use actual porn images of a minor, but funnily enough, the catfish did ask for pictures in return, and Brandon thought that if he didn't send any, it would completely spare him of any guilt, responsibility, or consequence. Holy shit, Brandon, what a fucking reach. He would also conclude in his rebuttal to these allegations,
a 15-year-old is not a kid. A 15-year-old is a teenager.
As well as another clip of him saying that he didn't just say that.
I never said that a 15-year-old wasn't a kid and that they're a teenager. I never said that in my life.
Now, you go ahead and keep telling me not to make fun of him because he has clear mental issues, but who do we side with more, the children or the tisms? Now, R. Kelly couldn't possibly be responsible for what the hacker did. The hacker didn't even do anything wrong or inappropriate. Brandon said so himself.
You can't say someone's into kids when they were asking news from a teenager.
With his need for an emo girlfriend only increasing as more people started tuning in, it was only a matter of time before we began to ponder the unthinkable. Hitting women.
Women have no right to reject me just because they think I did on kids.
Actually, this seems like the logical conclusion for someone like Brandon. Now, I'm not saying that it's right, but what I am saying is that I think a 15-year-old emo girl could whoop his ass.
Oh, this isn't a manga. This is some book. This is a book I found on the ground that I need to go to return to someone.
Be real, Brandon. You just stapled a bleach cover to a Made in Abyss manga, didn't you? Now, it seems at some point Brandon returned to TikTok to update everyone on his relationship status, going from single to taken, as some unfortunate soul chose to bear the burden of hanging this man's crayon art on the refrigerator and explaining the dangers of crossing a busy intersection without any adult present.
I am no longer single. I have a girlfriend. Well, it's long distance.
Although that may have only lasted for a time, as Brandon was right back to hitting on other women with some weird form of slam poetry. From here on out, Brandon's behavior only escalates, with suggestions of Elliot rogering women that refuse to talk to him, contacting a dark web hacker to create a software that allows him to harass women long after they block him. I'm not sure what that's going to accomplish. Calling strangers online his little snuggle kitten.
I was looking at your TikTok videos, and I saw one video where you had no makeup on. You looked cute. You looked so damn adorable. Just want to snuggle you. Make you my snuggle kitten.
To eventually just name-dropping Elliot Rodgers in general and confessing his immense respect for the man. It's been a long and confusing road for Brandon up to this point, but if you think it can't get much worse, just close your eyes and imagine if Brandon lived near a school. He's always lived near a school. Now, luckily, I don't think Brandon has the balls to do anything, but he was charged for what he concluded as some sort of self-defense when someone saw him on the street and decided to harass him about his Epstein allegations, and he responded by swinging his skateboard around like a weapon. This would eventually lead to the police having to keep an eye on his online activities and finding loads of veiled threats that he made towards the school, and that did land him in the penis farm.
And put me in some penis farm with a bunch of guys.
For a period of time. Oh, what it must be like to live in his head.
Cause Ken, what they think isn't something. Oh, baby, run! That's sexy.
Never mind. Since his release from jail, he seems to be in and out of motels with his father, who I can only imagine struggled to maintain housing for the 2 mouths he had to feed on disability checks alone, with one of them refusing to contribute and the other refusing to tell his son to get a fucking job. For a period of time, he was refused entry onto the property of at least one of these motels for what Brandon claims as a conversation he was having with someone on the phone that made people uncomfortable. Can only imagine what that was. And he has since moved in his old and only flame, Sammy, the emo girl of his dreams that's clearly on the edge of moving down the road, but needs Brandon for a little extra salt in the wound to get her there. Assuming Brandon's dad is taking both of them in, and assuming neither of them are working, I can only imagine the hell that poor man is in, so thoughts and prayers should go out to him. Either way, that's about it for me. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and a comment and let me know what you thought. Subscribe if you haven't already. Patrons on screen now, and you can follow me on Twitter, and you may even catch a rare glimpse of me posting, or you can just reach out for editing requests. I make full edits, clips, intros, thumbnails, title cards, and more at the 90s Router. And if you catch me over at F.F.S, that's F.F.S podcast, good job Cynic, here on YouTube from Friday through Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every week for random drama, news, anime, and comic books. Thank you guys so much for watching, but until next time, be well. You know, people say suicide is no laughing matter, but one day you'll be trying to pull my lifeless ass corpse off of a bungee cord and watch me fly back up to the ceiling, and then we'll see who's going to hell.